Hi, it's Chris, and today's project is installing a gas heater in our 2023 Ram Promaster. I purchased my Webasto heater on Amazon. The company that sells it, Butler Technik, is actually a UK company. I didn't realize that at the time, but they are a Webasto dealer, and they've been in business for a while. What they've done is have a sort of sub kit for hooking it up to the Promasters, and they don't use the quick connect because they found that wasn't as reliable, so they give you hoses and clamps. But the thing I really liked about it is they have this turret that you use to mount the unit in a subfloor in the van. The turret that came with my kit was not deep enough because I have a subfloor that I have 1-inch foam and a 3/4 inch piece of plywood and then a rubber mat. So I contacted the company and they told me to order this larger, deeper one, and then they would send me the return for the envelope for the first one. I plan to install the Webasto heater behind the driver's seat against the wall. This blue tape, I have a cabinet that's planned to go over on this side here. And I'm going to use the turret mount, so I have to put a 5-inch hole down here. I plan to put the hole on the driver's side. There's not a lot of spaces that you can fit a 5-inch hole. There's this big gap on the one side, and what I did is I cut out a 5-inch piece of paper and I put a magnet on it so I can find the same spot up on the top deck. This is a view from the front, aiming backwards. To verify where I am, I can use something. I didn't have ball bearings, but you can see that this is where I am down below. It's a bit of a squeeze, but I'm gonna drill a center hole so I know where to cut the full circle. I've set up a compass at 2.5 inches, and then I'm going to just draw the circle here for the cutout. I'm going to use a telescoping bit to make the hole so the saw blade will fit in it. The access to the gas tank is between the driver's seat and the passenger seat. There's just one tab here, and you can use a quarter just to turn these two other connectors, and then this whole thing pops out. There's 3 Phillips heads that you have to take out, and then this lifts up to expose the top of the gas tank. The extra fuel port is here, and you just squeeze the blue connectors and it comes off. This kit came with a special Promaster adapter, so I have the right angle, then the fuel filter, and you want to make sure you have the arrow going in the correct direction. And that connects to another elbow that goes to the blue fuel line. I'm putting it in a wire harness just to be extra safe that it doesn't get cut. And I'm fishing the wire down through the hole here, and it comes out by the gas tank on the bottom. Got the elbow attached to the tank, to the filter going the right direction, another elbow, the blue line's inside this protective wire harness wrap. You can see where the fuel line comes down from above by the tank. I wanted the pump to be protected, so I put it in the same little indent that the hole was drilled into, and I used the wire casing all the way around the hose and up around the tank. I drilled a hole and put a riv nut in to hold the pump. That's the riv nut that's holding the fuel bracket up. It'll just go into the foam board. I traced a circle from underneath that I have to cut out in the foam and then in the plywood. So I have the plywood, the foam, and the metal cut, and the plate fits in there. It's great. So now you can see the turret flange installed, and I'll have to caulk around the outside once I install the other stuff. I traced the rubber floor and cut that too. Now I just have to seal the inside of it. I pre-tightened the muffler and the air intake down here and then bolted the plate into the turret, because then I can just push it right through the floor. This is the connector that goes to the fuel pump, and you've got to cut the wire to length and put on these little connectors. I'm going to solder them also. You really have to make sure you push the connectors in hard until they snap. That was what my original failure was. I've got the exhaust pipe mounted at a slope so that the moisture goes out by gravity, and I've got the muffler mounted and hung by a piece of extra bracket. I've got the air input mounted so that it's facing backwards. The exhaust extends past the side of the van. The Webasto, and this cover comes off. Over here is where this plug goes in. When you push the plug in, it snaps in right here to lock it in. This gasket slides down and also fits in the cover. Okay, for the first time I turned it on. The fan's making a really little bit of noise here. I don't hear the fuel pump yet. Okay, the fan just went on full, and we're getting the blinking code, looks like. Well, after the initial fault code that the pump wasn't working, it took 2 starts, and now it's running. Unfortunately, it's 90 degrees outside, so I don't want to have all the hot air in the van, but it is kind of out. This particular kit didn't come with sheathing, so I've put protective stuff over it. The problem with these kits is there's so much stuff that you don't use. These are all the items I haven't used yet, and it makes it more confusing when you're doing the installation trying to find the stuff you do need to use. I did need a couple things that were not included. I needed a piece of pipe hanger, I needed another clamp, and I ran all the electrical and wire harnesses. The project went a lot easier than I thought. That turret really makes a nice difference. Now I'm all set to build the platform here, the cover, the heater, and to be able to put my feet on it when I rotate the seat. Well, I hope this was helpful. If it was, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll put links to some of the things I used in the description in case you want to get the same parts. Have a great day.